What is happening in the Nashville real estate market? What does inventory look like? And what can you expect if you're looking to buy here anytime soon? I'm covering all of that and more in today's video. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Martin, formerly Caitlin Davis, but recently married. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I am a local Nashville real estate agent who specializes in helping out-of-state buyers move to the Middle Tennessee area. Now, if you've been around for a little while, thank you so much for sticking with me. You may have noticed I took a little bit of a hiatus to be present and enjoy getting married and the honeymoon. And then as soon as I was back, it was back to the grind. Our market has not stopped. Nashville is on fire. If this is your first time visiting, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my videos. Please feel free to hit subscribe down below so that way you're notified of every time I release a new video. So let's go ahead and dive on in. So what is currently happening in the Nashville real estate market? Well, I've seen this meme going around and I feel like it's probably the most accurate in terms of describing the Nashville real estate market. And the meme says something to the effect of, hey, I'm a buyer, I'm thinking about buying a house, what's the real estate market like? And the agent says, well, do you remember back in March when you were trying to find toilet paper? Yeah. It's kind of like that. So what do I mean by that? Well, right now we are seeing a really strong buyer demand, but we don't have enough homes on the market to match that buyer demand. And so what does that mean? We are in a very strong seller's market. And so what that entails is it basically means that if you are selling your home is going quickly, it's going for multiple offers, and it's going to be going under contract for over asking price in most cases. So when we saw all of the numbers come out from the end of 2020, it only further was evidence of this huge buyer demand that we're seeing. So yes, we dealt with a pandemic in 2020, and from about March to the beginning of May last year, our real estate market kind of hit a pause as everybody waited to see what was going to happen. Since May, we've taken off, and the numbers are only further proof of that. So in all of 2020, despite the fact that we did deal with an onset of a pandemic, total home sales in 2020 were actually up 6% from total home sales in all of 2019. And as the pandemic continued to progress, we just saw a continued increased demand ever since. And so if you're looking specifically at the numbers from December of 2020, December 2020 total home sales were actually up 22% from December 2019. Then if you're looking at the fourth quarter as a whole, total home sales were actually up 18% from total home sales in the fourth quarter of 2019. This just further continues to speak to the fact that we are seeing that really strong buyer demand, and part of that is coming from the strong demand that we are seeing from out-of-state buyers that are looking to move here. One thing that I keep hearing over and over again is that people are choosing between Tennessee and Texas, and some of the biggest reasons that I'm hearing is because people like the fact that we have lower property taxes, we have no state income tax, and they're just looking for a little bit of a different way of life from where they are. If you are a buyer thinking about moving here, you need to know we are dealing with that inventory shortage. The good news is we are headed into our spring selling season, which traditionally during that time we see more homes come on the market, and we are anticipating we will see that. However, right now, if you were to look at listings, they're kind of slim pickings, and just know that any listing, as long as it is priced right and marketed well, it is going very quickly. Now, you may be saying, okay, well, how quickly is quickly? So it kind of depends. So some homes I've seen go in 8 hours or less. Other has been 24 hours, but what we're typically seeing is a home is gonna come on the market towards the weekend, and then typically an agent lets it sit throughout the entire weekend just so people can get in and see it, and then they will call for highest and best offer on Sunday or Monday. And now that's not standard. Some agents are just taking them and presenting them as is, and a seller has the right to accept an offer at any point when it comes comes in. But this is typically what we're seeing is agents are putting on a deadline of when all offers need to be in before the seller will review all of them and then select a winner. So these are things to just think about, consider. So it could be, a home could go under contract within a day. It could be a couple of days. It just depends on kind of the guidelines that the agent lays out. Now, when I say that they're going for multiple offers, because there is so much demand, there are going to be plenty of offers that are going in on each of these homes. So that means you need to be kind of like suited up for battle, prepared a little bit, and just know that homes are going for over asking price. I have seen a few that go right at asking, but most are going generally for over asking. And you may be wondering, okay, well, how much over asking? What should you kind of maybe potentially budget for in your mind? Well, so I have had some previous clients where they were coming from a state where they said that they were used to seeing homes go for $75,000 over, $100,000 over. And I have seen that happen one time, and it was a cash deal here in the Middle Tennessee area. But typically most homes are going to be going anywhere between 5, 10, 12, up to 20 grand over is typically pretty standard. I've seen a few go for about 30 grand over, but these are just some things to keep in mind, especially if you are thinking about buying. Just kind of knowing this on the front end can kind of help set your expectations going into the process instead of going into it and then, kind of getting a whiplash or being blindsided by just the things that you need to do to put your best foot forward in order to hopefully win out. That's something I recently had a client ask me, and they said, Caitlin, can we go in under asking? And I just told them no. And we're not, if we were in a buyer's market, okay. But right now, because there is so much demand, I would never suggest looking at anything below what is at least asking price. And depending on the home, depending on the price point, depending on the neighborhood, depending on the potential demand for the home, of course, all of those can factor into how much you may want to go over. But again, these are just things to think about. They are things to know ahead of time. Now, if you are thinking about moving here, a couple of things to consider. Listings. If you are thinking about moving here and you just want to see what comes on the market, the best thing to do is going to be to get yourself set up on listings that come directly from our MLS system. So if you're looking at things like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Redfin, all of those sites are typically going to lag behind, and they're not always going to be updating as the listing status updates. So like I said, because inventory is going quickly, you need listings sent to you from our MLS service, simply because they're going to give you the most accurate, up-to-date information. So basically, as soon as a home hits the market, it gets automatically sent to you so that you at least have a chance to take a look at it, right? Because if you're looking at the sites like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all of those, you may find a home, you may see it sit there for a day or two and say, ooh, I like this one, I want to take a look at it. And chances are it's probably already under contract, just because those sites don't necessarily update the listing status in real live time. And that is something that will help to give you an advantage in this kind of market. Okay, so again, just to recap kind of where we are in the Nashville real estate market right now, we are dealing with that low inventory but strong buyer demand. And while we do believe we are going to still deal with strong buyer demand as we continue through 2021, we are getting closer to spring, which again is our traditional selling season, and we are anticipating some more listings hitting the market, which is great news for buyers. If you are thinking about making a move to the Middle Tennessee area, please click below to grab my free Nashville relocation guide. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. I'm Caitlin Martin, and I'll see you next time.